Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode we're going to be working on the Jeep. We have a check engine light. It is P0441 for our emissions leak down test, and we're going to go ahead and figure it out today. Plugging in the Elm 327 OBD2 scan tool. Take it out of gear and start the engine. Alright, we're going to click on the trusty app here. Okay. As you can see, we have the check engine light is on. ECU okay. Coolant 93. All the modules are set. Fault codes, show log faults. P0441, guys. Evap emission control system incorrect purge. So let's go check it out. Okay, so a little bit of background how this works. We've located the evap canister. It's underneath the engine bay, and then to the left of that is the purge solenoid. So you have fuel vapors coming in here and exhausting out of here. So this would be your vacuum purge side, and then they go into the purge solenoid and out the purge solenoid into the intake manifold. So when you fill up your tank, all the vapors get pushed out of this little tube and stored into the vapor canister. And then when the engine's running, the solenoid opens up, and then the vacuum pulls the vapors from the canister, and then that's how they do the cycle. And when I plug the hose assembly away from the purge valve, I don't know if you could see down there, but there are pieces of charcoal leaking out of the vapor canister. So what I did was I installed this straw, and I plugged it with some cotton, with a cotton ball, and I wanted to see if I could add an extension of tubing into the circuit, block the charcoal from getting past the tubing and past the valve and back into the engine, because I unplugged it from the valve from the engine, or the nipple from the engine, and I could see bits and pieces of charcoal. So charcoal is definitely getting my engine because of the leaky canister here. So I just wanted to make sure that it was actually leaking, and I put this see-through straw. When you unplug this, you can feel and hear the charcoal. So this is coming straight off of the canister and through the purge and into the engine. So I wanted you to see this. So there's the other end of the plastic tubing, but here is the section of tubing that I blocked off with some cotton in here. You can see down inside there is charcoal, and it's vacuuming right into the engine. The engine's just pulling this charcoal right into my engine. Hopefully it's not gonna do any damage to anything, but this proves that the valve is working, because, well, of course, if the valve was closed, then are stuck closed, are not opening, you wouldn't see anything in here, because there would be no vacuum pulling the charcoal out of the canister. So that tells me that my valve is good, but my canister is actually leaking. Inside of these canisters are a fleet material filter that blocks the canisters, and only it blocks the charcoal and retains the charcoal inside the canister, and only allows vapors to pass through the valve and back into the engine. So today we have to replace the vapor canister. I'm gonna go ahead and take a 8mm or 5/16 wrench. And we're going to loosen up the flange that is retaining the vapor canister. Go ahead and remove the charcoal canister. So here's our charcoal canister, and I've marked which one is leaking. Like I said, the filter material has broken down internally and it's causing charcoal to leak out of the canister. And that, my friend, is getting in your engine. So we're going to replace it with a part that we purchased from AutoZone. Now the problem is the dealership does not make these anymore, so you have to resort to buying these used from a salvage yard. And if you cannot find one, then you may have to do what I'm doing and buy this standard vapor canister from AutoZone. It's VC120. Just go down there and tell them, hey, I need a VC120, and they can order it for you. You're gonna open it up for about 50 bucks, and you're gonna install this in replace of that. And notice this one doesn't leak, so that's excellent. Okay, so in the bracket there's this notch here that holds this from turning, but we have a nice clamp to hold this in position, so we're gonna have to cut that out. Alright, so I got the notch cut. I suppose you could take this bracket off and bend it with the vise. But I'm gonna go ahead and touch this up with some paint. And at the bottom of the clamp is this foot. The bottom of the new canister will rest right there. And we'll put the two pieces of tubing up, the two nipples up. I'm going to take our ratcheting wrench, install our clamp. And this vapor canister is nicely labeled for us, tank and purge. So this one goes to the valve, this one goes to the tank. We'll go ahead and install the tubing on that, like so. And like this. What we'll have to do is put a zip tie on these. And we'll go ahead and cinch this one down over the nipple. Make sure that doesn't leak. And we put our hoses back on to the purge valve, and we should be good to run the engine. This thing is hilarious, but it helped us understand how to fix this and what to fix. Okay, so we're back in the vehicle. We are going to see if my meter will reset, which I doubt it will, because start the vehicle. It's not going to reset because the issue with the reset is that, and look, I have an empty tank, so as soon as I go fill it up, it's going to push all of those gases from the empty tank into that canister. So we're actually going to see it working here in real life, but we're going to go ahead and try to reset the code, which I doubt because it's going to be an unrecoverable fault. You're going to have to do a hard reset at the battery, but we should be rocking and rolling, and most likely the fault's still going to be stored in the ECU, and it is. So we're going to go ahead and close that, go back into settings, and this is torque that I'm using on Android. Clear log faults, and this is a warning sign, okay, and the modules are still complete, so that did not work as a reset. Normally it does clear codes, but this one is because it's an emissions, a little bit more serious fault code, that it will not reset. It doesn't have the power to reset emissions check engine light. So we're gonna have to do a hard reset and reset the battery, drive it around 20-50 miles, get all these different modules completed, and that should fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the positive side of the battery and wait for about 20 seconds. Alright, so we're gonna put the cable back on, tighten that up, and go see if the check engine light reset. We're gonna go ahead and start it up. And no more check engine light. So like I said, we're gonna have to reset all those modules, get them complete, drive about 20 to 50 miles, and definitely go fill up the gas tank. Hey, if you like this video and it helps you fix your P0441 fault, go ahead and smash that like button, check out some other videos, and as always, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.